Hi everybody, and thank you for coming. I'm happy to be here today, and thank you to watching my video. Thank you for watching my video. So welcome, and today we will speak how the governing body and their god kill millions and millions of people. What happens here? So this video, before I register this video, I want just to say that I want to dedicate this video. It's a first dedication for me, I think, and I want just this video dedicated and a mom who she come from Utah, from United States of America, and the name of this mom is Tammy Canal. So I want to make this video for this person. So this is a person who for this person I want to say thank you for all what happens. And today we want to speak about Monsanto. So for this dedication, for this single mom who have 2 children, I want to dedicate this video. Okay. So we want to speak about, and I want that you know about the most horrifying things, what you should know about Monsanto. So, fed up with health concerns, environmental threats, and political corruption, Tammy Canal, this single mom, organized a global movement against the biotech giant. Yeah? So, fed up with the fact that she has to spend a small fortune in order to feed her family, things she says aren't poisonous, Tammy Canal has organized a global movement against the giant chemical and seed corporation Monsanto. Monsanto is the conglomerate mastermind behind many of the pesticide and genetically engineered seeds that pervade farm fields around the world. Monsanto produces the world's top-selling herbicide. 40% of US crops contain its genes. It spends millions lobbying the government each year, and several of its factories are now toxic superfound sites. Now this mom who has a 17-month-old baby and a 6-year-old girl cites concern over public health and adverse effect on the environment and political corruption as her motivation to organize against the biotech giant, and her concern has resonated. Protesters around the world have responded to Canal's call to action and will amplify their dissatisfaction with the corporation, Monsanto. Not only are they threatening our children, she said, and ourselves as well, but also the environment. The declining bee population has been linked to the pesticide that they use, and that's just the start. She say, I've been reading studies recently that butterflies are starting to disappear and birds. So you can imagine that this society made so chemical product that the butterflies and birds disappeared. It's only a matter of time. It's pretty much a domino effect. It's amazing. What started as one mother's call to action on Facebook page has become a movement with more than 400 demonstrations scheduled in 50 countries and 250 cities around the globe. The events are organized only via an open Google document where people can find the protest nearest them. The march against Monsanto Facebook page has received more than 105,000 likes. It has reached more than 10 million people in the last week according to its website, which averaged over 40,000 visitors per day. One of the short-term goals of the march, Canal says, is to spread immediate awareness about the offenses Monsanto commits. Another is to inspire people to vote with their dollars by boycotting Monsanto-owned companies that put unsafe products like genetically modified organism, the GMO, how you know, and pesticide-ridden foods on the market. The effort also advocates for labeling of genetically modified products so consumers can make informed decisions, and demands further scientific research on the health effect of the GMOs. Canal is particularly interested in drawing attention to what she calls dangerous products that are marketed to children, like Kellogg's. For example, Fruit Loops is 100% genetically engineered, and that's a children's cereal, okay? That's irresponsible and unacceptable on so many levels. The ultimate goal of the march is complete ban on Monsanto within the USA and at least 60 countries worldwide, including Austria, Bulgaria, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Japan, New Zealand, Peru, South Australia, Russia, French, Switzerland. Have implemented outright bans of Monsanto and its genetical modification of food product. I don't understand why the US isn't to forefront of that thinking. Monsanto has a long history of crimes against humanity. So let us see the five most disturbing reasons you should join this protest. Okay, so the first step, the first point, if you want, is profiteering poisonous chemical company posing as agri-business. So remember the horrors of opening ranch hand during the Vietnam War, when the US military designed a chemical warfare program and used the herbicide and defoliate Agent Orange to kill and maim 400,000 people, estimated by the Vietnam government, and ultimately cause birth defects for 500,000 children. Monsanto made that possible. Monsanto began as a chemical company in 1901 and was responsible for some of the most damaging toxins in US history, like polychlorinated biphenyls and dioxin. Consumer advocacy group Food and Water Watch released a report on April 3 detailing Monsanto's role in chemical disasters. Agent Orange at the first genetically modified plant cell. The report shows that the FEED, the World Agricultural and Life Sciences Company, Monsanto markets itself as today is only a recent development. The majority of Monsanto's history is involved with heavy industrial chemical productions, including the supply of Agent Orange to the US for Vietnam operation from 1962 to 1971. Ronnie Cummins, executive director of the Organic Consumers Association, told Common Dreams in response to the FVV report advertisement. Despite its various marketings incarnations over the years, Monsanto is a chemical company that got its start selling saccharins to Coca-Cola, then Agent Orange to the US military, and in recent years seed genetically engineering to contain and withstand massive amount of Monsanto herbicide and pesticides. Monsanto has become synonymous with the cooperation and industrialization of our food supply. Another example, according to FVV corporate profile, is a Monsanto plant in Sauget, Illinois that produced 99% of PCB until they were banned in 1976. PCBs are carcinogenic and harmful to multiple organs and systems. But they are still illegally dumped into waterways. They accumulate in plants and food crops as well as fish and other aquatic life forms, which enter the human food supply. The Sauget plant is now home to 2 Superfund sites. Monsanto chemical continue to impact the world, both inside and outside of the United States. And Monsanto has settled a number of chemical lawsuits in the last couple of years alone. Scientific studies have linked the chemical in Monsanto's Roundup pesticides to Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, autism, and cancer. Another example of Monsanto chemical folly came in February when French court declared Monsanto guilty of chemical poisoning of French grain grower Paul François. The farmers suffered neurological problems including memory loss, headache, and stammering after inhaling Monsanto's Lasso weed killers in 2004, and blames the agribusiness giant for not providing adequate warning to the product label. Alternet published an article in April titled "Expose Monsanto's Chemical War Against Indigenous Hawaiians," which details a series of protests of the 5 Hawaiian islands Monsanto and other biotech companies have turned into the world ground zero for chemical testing and food engineering. The second point, what you must know, is the building a monopoly, putting farmers out of work. There is nothing more, quite essentially, American than the independent family farmer. And there is nothing more un-American than stamping out the farmer's livelihood to bolster your corporate monopoly. Monsanto is attempting this as it smash farmers out of their livelihoods time and again. You might have heard about the 75-year-old soybean farmer from Indiana, Vernon Hogue Bowman, who was ordered in the beginning of May to pay Monsanto $85,000 damages for using second-generation seeds genetically modified with Monsanto's pesticide-resistant Roundup Ready treatment. He pulled the seeds from the local grain elevator, which is unusually used for feed crop, and planted them. The court decided Monsanto's patent extended even to the offsprings of its seeds, and the farmer had violated the company's patent. Bowman is by no means the only US farmer to be sent into debt at Monsanto's hands. Monsanto reported enormous profits from 2012 to shareholders in January, while American farmers filed into Washington, D.C. to challenge the corporation's right to sue farmers whose fields have become contaminated with Monsanto seeds. Oral arguments began on January 10 before the U.S. Court of Appeals to decide whether to reverse the case's dismissal last February. The corporation's total revenue reached $2.94 billion of the end of 2012, and its earnings nearly doubled analysis projections. In the article, Monsanto's earnings nearly double as they create farming monopoly, originally published in Al Jazeera and reprinted in Alternet on January 16, Charlotte Silver outlines how Monsanto has increased the price of the Roundup herbicide and exploiting its patent on transgenic corn, soybean and cotton to gain control over those agricultural industries in the US, effectively squeezing out conventional farmers, those using non-transgenic seeds, and eliminating their capacity to viably participate and compete on the market. The company also uses its power to coerce seeds dealers out of shocking many of its competitors' products. Monsanto was under investigation by the Department of Justice for violating antitrust laws by practicing anti-competitive activities toward other biotech companies. Until the end of 2012, the investigation was quietly closed before the end of the last year. Monsanto experts lost control over the seed industry. It started buying out seeds companies as early in 1982. Some of Monsanto's most significant purchases were Asgrow soybeans, Delta and Pineland cotton, DeKalb corn, Seminis vegetables, and Holden's Foundation seeds in 1997. Monsanto is unmatched in its tactics for squashing its competition, but the US has not put its antitrust laws into practice to clamp down on the corporate monopoly it's forming. The third point is controlling the food, privatizing the water. All of the Earth's population will live in an area with significant water stress by 2030. According to estimates from the Organization for Economic Cooperation, Development Corporation, like Monsanto, along with Royal Dutch Shell and Nestle, will vying for a future in which free water supply is a thing of the past, and private companies control public water sources. According to a government report titled Intelligence Community Assessment Global Water Security, by 2025, the world population will likely exceed 9 billion people, and the demand for water will be 40% higher than sustainable water supplies available. With water needs around 6,900 billion cubic meters due to population growth, private corporations already own 5% of the world's fresh water. Billionaires and companies, including Monsanto, are purchasing the right to groundwater and aquifers. In an even more ominous twist, Monsanto is accused of dumping its plethora of toxic chemicals, including PCBs, dioxin, and glyphosate, Roundup, into the water supply of various nations worldwide. Then, seeing a profitable market niche, it has begun privatizing those water sources it polluted, filtering the water and selling it back to the public. The third point is running the FDA writing its own protection laws. Ex-Monsanto executives run the United States Food and Drugs Administration, the agency tasked with ensuring food safety for the American public. This obvious conflict of interest could explain the lack of government-led research on the long-term effect of GM product. Recently, the US Congress and President together passed a law that has been dubbed Monsanto Protection Act. Among other things, the new law bans court from halting the sale of Monsanto genetically modified seeds. The pro-Monsanto Farmer Assurance Provision, Section 735 rider, was quietly slipped into agricultural appropriations provision of the HR 300-932 continuing resolution spending bill, designed to avert a federal government shutdown. It states that the Department of Agriculture shall, notwithstanding any other provision of law, immediately grant temporary permits to continue using the GE seed in the request of a farmer of producer Monsanto. Obama, before the President of the United States, Obama signed a law on March 29. It allows the agribusiness giant to promote the plant GMO and GE seeds free from any judicial litigation that might deem such crops unsafe. Even if a court review determines that GMO crops harms humans, Section 735 allows the seeds to be planted once the USDA approves them. Public health lawyer Michelle Simon told the New York Daily News the Senate bill requires that USDA to ignore any court ruling that would otherwise halt the planting of new genetically man-engineering crops. The 5-point continuing environmental nightmares. As Tammy Canal points out, studies have linked Monsanto and other biotech conglomerates to the decline of bee colonies in the US and abroad. Their environmental blunders don't stop there. In 2002, the Washington Post published a piece titled "Monsanto Hid Decades of Pollution," outlining the corporation's pollution of an Alabama town with toxic PCBs for decades without disclosure. The Union of Concerned Scientists, UCS, published the article debunking Monsanto's claim that it is a leader and innovator in sustainable agriculture, while Monsanto advertises its technology as important to achieving such goals as adequate global food production and reducing agriculture's negative impact on the environment. The UCS says in reality the corporate giant stands in the way of sustainable agriculture. For one, Monsanto's policies promote pesticide resistance. The Roundup Ready and BT technologies lead to resistance weeds and insects that can make farming harder and reduce sustainable, reads the UCS article. The article also notes that Monsanto's policies increase herbicide use, which can cause health effects, and perpetuates gene contamination, as engineered genes tend to show up in non-GE crops. Additionally, the UCS says Monsanto is a purveyor of monoculture because it focuses only on limited varieties of a few commodities crops, reducing biodiversity and as a result increasing pesticide and fertilizer pollution. The Union points out that Monsanto's lobbying, advertising and stronghold over research on its products makes it difficult for farmers and policymakers to make informed decisions about more sustainable agriculture. Finally, UCS says Monsanto contributes little to helping the world feed itself and has failed to endorse science-backed solutions that don't give its products a central role. Tammy Canal encouraged those who can't make it to the march against Monsanto Saturday to support and foster relationship with their local farmers, buy organic, plant a vegetable garden and become more self-sustainable. That is definitely the one way to break the bond Monsanto has on us, she says. People should get involved because this is basically an outright attack on humanity. So, you see that this Monsanto is an attack on humanity. No, we know that the Jehovah's Witness organization, the Watchtower, have invested, the governing body of the Watchtower organization have invested in Monsanto $3,739,600 invested in Monsanto, and from this almost $4 million invested in this society to kill people, because we know today that Monsanto have mounds and mounds of dead bodies behind. Monsanto kill millions and millions of people. So the conclusion is of this video that if Jehovah and the Watchtower, so the Watchtower is the spirit-led earthly organization of Jehovah. That means that Jehovah leads this organization, so Jehovah agree with this society. That means that this organization do in words and deeds all things that come from Jehovah. So if they support financially a society that kills millions and millions of people, that means that Jehovah himself support this society to kill the millions and millions of people. No? This brings us to the next point, that if this Jehovah kills million innocent people, this Jehovah is not the God of the Bible. This Jehovah is not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This God, Jehovah, is not the God of Noah. This God is not the God of Abel and God of Enoch. This Jehovah is not the God of Moses and Job and David and all prophets and the apostles, and of course not the God of Jesus, the true Jesus, because it exists a lot of, biblically we know that a lot of persons speak about Jesus, but very few know where is the true Jesus. Because the true God is love, okay? And this Jehovah is not love, because we see that this organization financially support a society who kill millions and millions of people. This give us the result that this God, the God of Watchtower and the governing body of the Watchtower, they are criminal and they hate humans. This Watchtower hate humans because they are not interested when they know that. I ask you, how can an organization who say, okay, we belong to the true God. The true God say in the Bible that he will destroy the people who destroy the earth. This Monsanto here, this society who contaminate the earth, is in fact destroy the earth. And these people will be destroyed. Because God say, I don't allow that people destroy the earth, so I will destroy that. And the God of the Bible is love. God of the Bible doesn't kill millions and millions of people. So here we see also how this governing body, how incompetent is to manage the money of poor people. Because I say last time, I had a sister who have 180 euro in the month for a treat. So she's a sister, she have 80, 82, 84 years. And for 150, 180 euros in month she live. And I ask myself how she can live with 180 euros, even 200 euros. How you live with 200 euros? You can't live it. And she put 5 euros in the box for this satanic man. And this satanic man, what he do? 4 millions, exactly 3,739,600 euro put in this Monsanto that kill millions and millions of people. So I'm very disappointed with this satanic code. But everybody must know that this is not the organization of the true God of the Bible. Because the true God of the Bible is love. The true God of the Bible protect their members. And the true God of the Bible, how yesterday I made this video, where I speak about the 59 points who the governing body failed, we see that the true God protect the member physically and spiritually. Okay? So this is the proof that this satanic cult, the Watchtower, is not God's organization, because this is an organization who hate human. This organization hates human, because we see that invest, it's whatever they invest the money, it's important that they win the money. It's not important what happens with the money. The money is invested to kill people. It's not important. It is important that they have the benefits. So we see here the proof, the physical proof, not biblical or theoretic proof. This is the practical proof. We see that this organization is a satanic criminal organization. They finance, they put the money to support killing the human being. So I finish with that, with Monsanto, and I hope you like them. But this is true and clear proof. It's not refutable, because I will put also the code we can find, under which code we can find Monsanto. But even if you put Monsanto Watchtower, you find all the statistics. So I don't make for the statistic. I just call the attention of the people, because I will make this video in 200 languages. Okay? Thank you very much for watching, and I see you are numbers that you come. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. Bye bye.